Now we come up on B46, the hot ticket race team. There's a 30-foot Regal Velocity powered by two 365 horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Mercruiser drives. This boat is owned by Timothy Noto of Orlando, Florida, who's doing the throttling, and Robert Coram from Altamont Springs, Florida, is your driver. The hot ticket race boat is actually a design known as a Steve Stepp Thoroughbred Velocity race hull. This boat is sponsored by Marine Muffler and Mercury Marine. They'd like to extend a very special thanks to Marine Muffler, who does top quality mufflers, and of course Mercury Marine for all that they've done in helping the hot ticket race team. Tim Noto is a brand new addition to the Offshore Powerboat Race team and manufacturer. And right there, Noto doing a fine job throttling. The boat came well out of the water, back in, and he was right back on the throttles. Excellent job working the throttles in sync with the motors and this boat. The hot ticket race team, and right now they are performing very hot. They do look like a hot ticket, and they're having a fine run. As we said, the Offshore B division is a very competitive group. It's the largest number of boats in any one division here today, so the competition is very fierce and very evenly matched. But with what they have here and the combination of Coram and Noto, they certainly are going to be a formidable player toward the end. From Miami, Florida, B46, the hot ticket race team. Now from hot ticket we come up to another offshore B boat. This is B5, the Creative Native Race Team. This is a 27-foot Creative Marine racing hull powered by two 265 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Ron Spink of Panama City, Florida. Driving today we've got Craig Todd of Panama City, Florida, and on throttles the incomparable Sammy Neal from Panama City, Florida. Creative Native, and this is a very exciting looking boat. We've got some rough racing conditions, and these B boats are really going to take a pounding. Look at this run right here, coming way out of the water repeatedly. Oh, what a run these guys are having. Sammy Neal, Craig Todd really having the ride of their lives right here. You just get an idea of how big these swells are, but this boat is doing the best it can to cut right through it. The Creative Marine race hull is taking a pounding, and so's the crew, but they have some experience under their belts. They really seem to be enjoying this ride, and the boat, as well as the crew, is really rising to the pounding that they're taking right now. This is some tough racing, and they're paying the price. B-class is very tough, as we've said before, but Creative Native is having a better run. They're running in the lead pack of boats with Jamaican Bobsled, Environmental Impact, Network Express, Crackcon, Wild Thing, Ocean Motion, just to name a few. So we certainly wish them all the best, and these guys are certainly going to feel it at the end of today. It's rough seas, and they're having a rough ride, but this is what Offshore Powerboat Racing is all about here in the APBA. Craig Todd and Sammy Neal in the Creative Native Race Team. Those Mercury motors are really doing the job right here. Creative Native having a fine run. Now we're coming up on another B divisional boat. This is B100 Ocean Motion. This is a 30-foot velocity, and on the outside of them, it's Creative Native. So we've got a head-to-head battle right here between Creative Native and Ocean Motion. This is a good picture right here. Ocean Motion, the 30-foot velocity, powered by two 420 horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Mercruiser drives. This is certainly going to be a test. The outboard motors against the inboard motors, and both boats seem to be running neck and neck right now. Ocean Motion, owned by Dave Mealy, who is your throttle man also, and Jim Sparrows from Mayo, Maryland, is your driver today. The Ocean Motion race team. He'd like to thank Art Lilly of Lilly Sport Boat for getting us there, and he'd also like to extend a special thanks to Dave at American Marine Transmissions, Mike of Foundation Software Laboratories, and Bog at Meyer Marine Transport. But we're locked in a fierce battle. Ocean Motion and Creative Native going head to head. Ocean Motion has a slight lead right now over the Creative Native race team. Good bit of racing in Offshore B. APBA, providing you nothing but the best in offshore powerboat racing excitement. These B boats are really taking a pounding. You can imagine what the A boats are going through right now. Look at that jump right there. They came way out of the water, traveled a great deal of horizontal distance with a high vertical jump, and these guys are really taking a pounding. But this 30-foot velocity race hull is certainly up to the challenge, as well as the crew, and considering how rough it is, Ocean Motion is certainly experiencing the motion of the ocean and having a very good run. From Miami, Florida, it's the Ocean Motion race team. Ocean Motion pushing very hard. Those motors are really putting out the power right now. But right there, they seem to have hit something. That they're communicating between themselves. They seem to have a slight problem, and they have come off on power. This could be a tough break for Ocean Motion. They have been taking a pounding out there, so perhaps some of the equipment did not hold up. They're trying to check it out now, but they are encountering a bit of a problem, and they're slowing down. Could be a tough break for the Ocean Motion race team. But hopefully they'll get it going, figure out the problem, diagnose it, and get back going strongly again. The Ocean Motion race team. Now they're checking out behind them. They're coming off plane, coming to a stop in the water. That's a tough sight. And there's Creative Native coming up, seizing the opportunity, seeing Ocean Motion is in trouble. They're going to come up and seize the opportunity. Ocean Motion, tough break for them. They seem to be pulling out. Tough break. Now we come up on B41, the Crackcon race team. This is a 28-foot Mantha powered by two 275 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by George Cabana, Sr. of Key West, Florida. He's doing the driving today, and on throttles, we've got Ronnie Martinez from Key West, and George Cabanas Jr. from Key West is your navigator. And that's Creative Native on the far outside. The B-boats, they're really waging a very exciting war right now in the open waters. Cabanas Sr. along with Cabanas Jr. and Ronnie Martinez making up the Crackcon race team, B41. And they are in a fierce battle with a boat that you see on the far outside of the course, and that is Creative Native, and they're fighting off Wild Thing also. But there you get an idea of the competition, and look at these two boats jump. They look like dolphin going through the water so fast. They're coming way out of the water, having a great run. This is what offshore powerboat racing is all about. Boats and man and machinery going all out, taking a pounding from the open water racing, and both crews, Crackcon as well as Creative Native, having a good run. So we wish George Cabanas Sr. and Jr. and Ronnie Martinez of the Crackcon race team all the best here today in Miami, Florida. Ronnie Martinez is doing a phenomenal job on the throttles, and the motors are really responding to his command. There's the navigator lining up the crew. They're getting their checkpoints in order and making their move toward the next checkpoint, the Crackcon race team. Now we come up on the hard-charging C100, the Heat is On race team. This is a 32-foot all-yellow Manta powered by two 625-horsepower Bandit inboard motors with Mercury drives. This boat is owned by John Provenzano of Tampa, Florida, who is your throttle man. Driving today, we've got Joe Sorrentino of Lauderhill, Florida, and Joel Moses of Tampa, Florida is your navigator. The Heat is On race team is a strong boat. They've had a very successful 90 campaign so far, and they certainly are performing up to par today. Look at this boat. It's dialed in quite nicely. It's propelling itself very well over the rough seas, and they're really having a good run. They're presently in first place in class, holding off the hard-charging Fish Peddler, Dollar Marine Special, Party's Over, Blackjack, etc. They're really doing a marvelous job. Provenzano knows what it's all about. He's a good champion. He's been on the APBA for many, many years, a lot of experience, great competitor, and he's letting it all hang out here today in Miami, Florida. John Provenzano, along with Joe Sorrentino and Joel Moses, making up the Heat is On race team, and they certainly do have the heat cranked up on this boat, and it's going all out. These Bandit inboard motors are responding to Provenzano's commands on the throttle, and they're doing a great job right now. Let's just sit back and watch John Provenzano's Heat is On race team doing a fine job here today in Miami, Florida. Provenzano presently running first in the Heat is On race team and turning the heat on all the rest of the competition. John Provenzano's The Heat is On. Now we come up on another offshore sea boat. This is C82. It's a 25-foot motion. It is the mixed motion race team. The 25-foot motion is powered by two 240 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Token Transport Incorporated of Boca Raton, Florida. Ed Thornton is your driver from Boca Raton, and Roy Metz from Boca Raton is on throttles. The sponsor of this boat is Edit Marine, who also does the racing and the maintenance of this boat. And Edit Marine takes care of Mercury outboard motors, and they specialize in sales and service of the 2.4 EFI Mercury outboard motors. Edit Marine and the Mixed Emotion Race Team. And that Crackcon on the outside. So this is a very good battle going on here. However, different classes in boats. Crackcon, a B-boat on the outside, Mixed Emotion, a C-boat coming by on the inside and going by. This 25-foot motion is really having a fine run. The Mercury motors are performing to Roy Metz's commands on the throttles, and it's looking very good at this point in time. However, C-class is real tough. You just saw Provenzano's heat is on, running in first place, holding off Fish Peddler, Dollar Marine Special, Parties Over, just to name a few. Mixed Emotion is running toward the rear of the pack with some of the other boats such as Enterprise, Blackjack, and Waste Chaser. However, Ed Thornton and Roy Metz are a good team. Metz has a lot of experience running with the Mercury motors, and he certainly knows what his work is cut out here for today. So with that, we wish Ed Thornton and Roy Metz all the best in the Mixed Emotion Race Team. Mixed Emotion could be running very strongly in the lead pack, actually. We're a little confused with some of the boats being off course and who's running their laps properly or not. So we'll have to wait to get further results and bring you official results, but right now Mixed Emotion is having a very good run.